right. Well, we are down to the final presentation for this entire event, which hopefully you guys have enjoyed this event. Have you guys enjoyed this event so far? Has it been amazing for you? Yeah, everyone's hands are going crazy. Awesome. So I'm excited. The next presentation is one that I'm really excited for, obviously, and it's Brendan Bouchard. Brendan's become a super close friend of mine over the last couple of years. I've actually known him now for over a decade. We met at the very beginning of both of our journeys. When I was trying to figure this game out, he was trying to figure this game out. We both kind of went on this journey together, and then we kind of lost ways for 7 or 8 years, and then recently reconnected, and it's just been so much fun getting to know him, and love his heart, love his passion, and excited to share him with you guys today. He's gonna be talking about his high performance habits. If you guys, who here's ever read his book, High Performance Habits? Yeah, if you haven't, it's an amazing book. He's gonna be sharing some of the habits with you guys today, and it's things that are gonna help you guys as you're going through and stepping out into business and things like that. So we're gonna watch that presentation. After that, I'm gonna come back. I got some closing words, and then we will be done for this event. So with that said, let's stretch a little bit. Get ready. Make sure your energy is high for Brendan because he brings a lot of energy. With that said, I want to introduce you guys to Brendan Bouchard.
Welcome to the stage, Mr. Brendan Bouchard! How many of you feel like you're going to go home and kick doing all this work? All right, so I got a bigger question. How many of you have ever gone home on Monday? You got a big list of things to do. It's prioritized, it's detailed. You started Monday fired up, and then Wednesday hit, and all of a sudden, you kind of look around yourself and you're on the couch. There's a bag of chips or some other thing you're not supposed to eat. But no, honey, it's dark chocolate. It's healthy. You look up for a minute to change the thing, and it says season 4. And you're like, didn't I just start this? And all of a sudden, all that fire, all of that commitment, all that motivation is waning, and your Wednesday turns out to be a dud. Who's been there? Be honest. Yeah. Why? Why is it sometimes you perform so well, you get so much done, you know it's you're at the A game, you're providing for your family, you're working through the pain, you feel it, you believe it, you're engaged with it, and other times you suck. Why? Focus. Why else? Lack of happiness. Why else? Lack of money. No system. Kids. Blame the kids. That's always, that's such an easy excuse. Well, I got kids, Brendan. Yes, no one else on earth has children and ever made any money. Something is causing you to fail. Something, when you know you're supposed to be working and you're on your phone and you go to text that one business thing or that one person, and then a little later on, you kind of click that blue link, you watch that video, you swiped up, you responded to some DMs, you looked at 3 other people, and all of a sudden you look at the time, and you're like, oh my God, 3 hours went by. What happened to me? And maybe the DM isn't your problem or the social media isn't your problem, because listen, the average American now watches 4 hours of television a day. 4 hours of television a day, the average American. Let's do some math. The average adult lifespan, if you take 4 hours a day over the average adult lifespan, that ends up being 19 years in front of the boob tube. 19 years. That's 19 years, 24/7. Gone. 19 years from experiences with your family, 19 years away from building a movement, a momentum, something you could have done. 19 years away from connecting with your spouse or your partner. 19 years of chasing the dream, of volunteering, of giving, of serving. 19 years stolen with 4 hours of distraction a day. Maybe it's not social media for you. Maybe it's not TV for you. Maybe you're sitting at the desktop on your ride-a-bike treadmill today, doing your desktop, and all of a sudden you watch that video or you see this thing, and you're watching and hoping for it all, and then like you look up again. You're like, oh my God, 4 hours. Where did the time go? I'm sitting in front of the computer. Where did the time go? Why am I naked? What happened? Just me? Oh God. So why? When so much matters for us to be excellent, why is it so hard to change and stay on our A game? That has been my quest for 22 years to figure it out. I told you yesterday a little about my accident. And because of that accident, it made me ask those questions because I needed to desperately change. I was in a major moment of transition in my life, and I desperately needed to change. And let me see if I know my audiences, especially my entrepreneur friends. If you would identify yourself as someone right now who's in significant transition to a new brand, a new product, transition to a major change in your life, but you feel like this moment right now, it really matters if you get it right this next time. If you're that person, if you're like, yeah, transition, I'm going through that. If that's true for you, would you stand up? Let's see. Look around the room. Look around the room. There's a lot of weight in this room because it matters if you get it right. That's almost the entire audience. The people sitting down are people who just don't really believe their vision is a transition. Or they're just those people who say, I never stand up for no speakers. Have a seat and give yourselves a round of applause. Let's get this transition right. Let's get it right. You got to get this transition, this build, this momentum. You got to get it right this time. And you got to get it right this time without wrecking your health. You got to get it right this time without hurting the marriage or the relationship. You got to get it right this time and actually friggin' enjoy it. Can I get an amen on a Saturday? It's like turn to the person left, right, shake them, say, you got to get it right. It's just the issue is it's hard when you try to do something new because the people around you judge you so much, you know? Me, before my accident, I told you yesterday, I kind of had a rough go at it. I had met my high school sweetheart when I was 16. We fell in love. She was my first love. We were all in this relationship. We did everything together in high school. She was going to go to college. I wasn't going to go to college. I was going to, mow lawns. That was it. I was making good money mowing lawns and painting things. I was painting chicken coops. My first paid job ever was painting a chicken coop. And I thought it was such an easy job. And then they said, well, you have to clean it first before you paint it. Oh, God, worst job ever. A whole summer painting and cleaning chicken coops. It was like, ugh. But I was getting paid. I was like, maybe that's what I'll do. But she was going to go to college. So I said, I'll go to college too, I guess. She was going to the University of Montana. I said, I guess I'll go to the University of Montana. So I bought a little U-Haul. I did a little weld job in the back of my 1988 Nissan Sentra. I welded that U-Haul to the back of an 88 Nissan Sentra, which is, if you don't know what that is, it's not meant to haul things. We put all of our stuff in it. We went over the Rogers Pass, over the Rocky Mountains, over to Missoula. And because I didn't have much of an identity, I did everything she did. I signed up for the same classes she did. When we did anything, we went out with the same friends. We lived in the same dorm. Everything that I could do, we were inseparable. And then, like I told you yesterday, halfway through that first year, she cheated. And I fell apart. I was immobilized with hurt. I stopped going to classes because I didn't want to go because she was there. So I laid in bed. I didn't take care of myself because I just wanted to die. So I didn't shower. I barely ate. And if I did, I ate horrible things. Friends would come by, Brendan, let's go out, let's go out, let's go out. And I couldn't do anything. So I just laid there, crying, upset, angry. Not all of that is unique to the college freshman experience, that's for sure. But for me, it led into depression and then suicidal thoughts. And I had already written what I was going to leave to my parents. I had already thought about the people who'd be mad at me. I had just prepared to leave this earth because I was a broken person. And it wasn't until a long time later until I realized what saved me. Two things saved me. One was reading. Because even though I was sitting there miserable in bed, I was a reader. I loved to read things. So I'd read a bunch of things, and one day I picked up the school newspaper, and I opened up that newspaper, and I was turning through it. And then the second thing that saved me, marketing. I turned the page, and there was a full-page ad in the school student newspaper. And this full-page ad had the best copy in the history of the world. Because think about a sad college kid. Okay, here's what the image was. It was one of those like Caribbean images, white sandy beach, perfect turquoise colored ocean, bright big blue like back sky against this palm tree. It was like this beautiful thing. And the headline, escape. Yeah. Because when you're hurt, you want to escape. Escape. Summer jobs available for students in the Dominican Republic. I was from Montana. I didn't know where that was. But I knew she wasn't there. So I took the job. I went down there with a friend, basically became like a glorified tour guide around the island, helping people out. And it was a glorious time. I mean, I'd never been in another place like that. If you've ever been in the Caribbean, there's some magical energy there. It's just eerie place. It was so incredible. And one night, Kevin and I, my friend, we hopped into a car. He was driving, and we started sailing along this road back to where we were staying. It was a brand new, newly developed area on the island, newly paved road, long, flat stretch. He opened it up. We're going. 85 miles an hour, we are hauling down this road. And all the windows are down, and that great humid air is coming in from the Caribbean. And we got the radio on, and that song from Tom Cochrane, Life is a Highway, is playing. So we're like, life is a highway, I want to ride it all night long. You still remember it? Oh my God. We're singing the song, there's life in the car, and then we came upon a corner that in the United States would have had one of those big yellow signs with a U-shaped arrow. Watch out, slow down, sharp corner ahead. Newly paved road, developing country, no sign. We go around that corner, and it's pitch dark at night. The headlights are shining forward. All of a sudden we see they go off the road, and Kevin grabs the wheel. Brendan, hold on! And he cranks that wheel. And everything that happened in the next couple of minutes is the only reason I'm here with you. He cranked that wheel. I braced. And what happened over the next couple of minutes, I don't know if it was like cognitive or emotional or spiritual, but I still remember that feeling of the brace. Because if you have a moment of cognition before the end, if you have that brace, your mind thinks about the preciousness of life. That fear that you feel is the connection to life. And I feel that fear. And the first thing that, if you have a moment to think about your life at the end, like I said yesterday, the first thing you wonder is, did I live? If you're crashing into death's doorway, you wonder, did you live? And not did you live their life, not your parents' life, not your professor's life, not your partner's life, not your girlfriend, boyfriend's life. Did you live your life? Did you live so fully and gratefully and mindfully? Did you feel this life? Did I live? You want to know it so bad at the end that it aches in your bones. I didn't like the answer to that question. That thought, that feeling. Did I live? I'd been thinking about taking my life, not living it. The car started skidding off the side of the road. Kevin's trying to navigate the turn, but the back fishtails out and we start sliding off the road. We hit a little retainer wall on the side of the road, bricks and boulders for a ditch they had built for irrigation to a nearby sugarcane field. Bam! We hit that thing, popped the car up on the road. I hit my head on the side of the road, or on the side of the car door, and everything went blank. And then I started seeing all these images, these scenes from my life. And it's not like they tell you about in the movies, at least it wasn't for me, where you see yourself completely every minute of your life growing up and getting bigger and hopefully more handsome. No. I didn't even see myself. I saw life from my own eyes, but times when I was surrounded by people I loved. So it wasn't like, there's a scene and there's Brendan and his, friends at his 12th birthday and his mom singing, or there's Brendan, me, and my sister swinging on my outdoor swing set my dad built in the backyard. I could see the cake in front of me. My friends gathered around. Ma singing that goofy song she always sings on her birthdays. I could feel myself swinging, ka-chunk, ka-chunk, on the swing set with my sister next to me, swinging and smiling. Ka-chunk, ka-chunk. If you ever had one of those backyard swing sets, there's that one pole that always comes out. And you see these images in your life of the people that you enjoyed your life with, and it makes you wonder, did I love? Because you're going to think about the people who are going to miss you, and you're going to think about the people who you're going to miss. I didn't like the answer to that one either. Did I love? Because I'd been so heartbroken. My heart was cracked in two. I hadn't even felt life in months. And the truth is, when you get hurt, sometimes you do the worst thing, and that's you just start protecting yourself even more because you don't want to get hurt, so you get proper. You build a wall, you put a mask on, whatever your metaphor is, but we all know if you get hurt and you build up a wall to keep out the bad guys, who can't get in? The good guys. In your own self-protection, you tend out to block the very thing you want, connection. You button up to protect yourself, and now they can't connect with you because you're not vulnerable and real anymore. You're not living your truth and feeling your heart and your grace because you're protecting so much and putting on that facade to be okay, to connect, and you're cheating yourself from the real depth of life, and that was my story. The car apparently hit the ground and it rolled and rolled and rolled off into the jungle. I got knocked out completely. When I came to, Kevin is screaming at the top of his lungs, "Brendan, get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the car." And I look over and his eyes are wild and a huge chunk of his head is open and there's blood everywhere. And I don't know what's going on. Is the car on fire? What are we doing? He crawls outside the driver's side window and I go into panic and I try to get outside mine, but I can't because the whole car is smashed down on top of me. There's no window here anymore. All I have is this little opening that used to be the windshield. And so I fish myself through this windshield of the car and I stand up onto the crumpled hood of the car. Kevin is screaming at the top of his lungs. My head is throbbing. I look down, there's blood everywhere over me, already pouring out onto the top of the hood of the car. And that shock happens. That slow motion happens. That fear comes up from my toes, realizing as a 19-year-old kid, the life can end. And I look down and see all that blood, and my hearing goes hollow, and I feel like I'm about to pass out. And then I see the blood going off the hood of the car, and I just remember thinking, did I even matter? No, was there a reason I was here? Was there a purpose? I felt like I was going to pass out. And then I noticed a reflection in my blood at the end of the car, at the end of the hood, a glint, a sparkle, something, and a reflection of something that made me look up. And there was this bright, big, beautiful moon that night. I hadn't even noticed it earlier. And it was like the second that I looked at it, it was like, I just knew I would be okay somehow. I felt this connection, this moment, this grace, this something. Years later, I felt like I had gotten in that moment life's golden ticket. You know, like the big guy upstairs had reached down to me and handed me a second chance. That golden ticket. It was kind of like, here you go, kid. You're still alive. You can still love. You can still matter. But now you know the clock is ticking. I got that ticket, 19. And I felt so much grace in that moment. It was just something. And I just remember, the only thing I remember, I know that cognitively was there for me. I just felt it, and I just felt like, I will earn this. I just wanted to earn life, earn that gift, earn that moment, earn that blessing, earn that breath, earn that opportunity. I just wanted to earn it. And I kind of just came back into the moment and knew I would be okay. And, you know, Kevin and I don't want to ruin the whole story, but we lived. I'm okay. We learned a lot. The first people who came by tried to rob us. The second group came by, saved us. Welcome to life, huh? People who saved us flopped us both on the back of a moped and took us 7 miles to where we were staying. I don't know if you ever rode a moped before, but could you imagine riding a moped, standing up on the moped with 2 white American kids bleeding out behind you, and you're like, I mean, people are good. Everyone say, people are good. Man, people are good. And I asked yesterday, how many of you ever had a second chance similar, like a fated moment that said, start again anew? Who's ever had that? Say, that's me. Say it loud, that's me. See, a lot of you had that. A lot of you had that second chance, as I said yesterday. Then you get that choice. Am I going to wake up and be different and better, or am I going to go back through going through the motions, hurt and angry and upset and pointing at other people? You get that choice every single day. That was the gift I got. I call it life's golden ticket. I got it at 19. Something I now call mortality motivation. When you know you're not going to be here forever for your kids, you're going to work harder on Monday. Can I get an amen on a Saturday? When you know you're not going to be here forever, you make sure your spouse is taken care of forever. When you know you're not going to be here forever, you chase that dream harder, you believe in it more, you go after it. It's just hard because sometimes people knew you from the previous life. Remember, I was the depressed, sad, suicidal kid. I go back to college on fire, alive. I'm like, I'm going to live. I'm going to love. I'm going to matter. It's my second chance. I'm Charles Dickens. I'm little Timmy. I don't know. I'm so excited. I go back to school and I'm on fire. I'm talking to everybody. I'm shaking everybody's hands. I hadn't lived. Now I'm talking with everybody, having a good time, being confident, like enjoying life. They're like, what do people say to you when you change your life? What do they say to you? Yeah, you see, what's wrong with you? Everyone say, what's wrong with you, Brendan? And I'm like, what's wrong with me? I'm alive. You're dead. What's wrong with you? Who's ever tried to change your family and friends and realized maybe that's a little harder than you thought? So I started trying to motivate and inspire people to make some kind of change, and not some significant way. I just thought, hey, we're all going to die. I mean, very motivational message, right? And I'm just saying, why don't we figure our things out? So I was happy, I was positive, I was directive, but everybody thought I was crazy. What are you trying to do? I hadn't loved before. I was scared of other people and connecting, because where I grew up, we got smacked around all the time. So reaching out was scary when every time you got smacked. So I didn't reach out. So my love was fake. And so I had to learn to get over that. I was terrified of talking to girls. So I was like, okay, I better figure this out. So I went up and talked to every girl I could. Every girl. I was like, hey, how you doing? And they'd be like, fine. I'm like, and that's all I had. I had no other, like I should have took some pickup classes, because they always teach you the second sentence. All I had was the first one. Hey, hi, I'm Brendan. Half the time I couldn't get that out. Did I matter? I volunteered for everything. everything on campus, every student leadership group, everything I did, I said, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something. And unfortunately, we've lost volunteerism in the United States of America, and we got to get it back. Can I get an amen on the Saturday? Let's volunteer back again. So I was like, okay. So I started doing that. Everyone thought I was crazy. And that began the journey, though, because I wanted to change, and I didn't know how. And remember what changed my life? Books. So I started reading them all the greats. I know you guys know them all. Napoleon Hill and Dale Carnegie, Earl Nightingale, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Marianne Williamson, Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer, Tony Robbins, Deepak, Marianne, all those people. I started reading them, and I'm only on that stage because I learned from them and I learned to change. And I got interested. And then I want to know deeper. So I went way deep into psychology, and I was like, oh, give me some Alfred Adler and Abraham Maslow. Give me some Carl Rogers, people that no one talks about anymore. I got down deep into that stuff. And I started getting interested in actually going, well, what actually works and how do we know it? And that began a lifelong journey of research, which I'm probably not known as much about because I'm known for Facebook stuff. But I started doing my research. And I asked, how do we know what works? How do we know? That taught me the scientific method, that helped me get my graduate degree, that helped me become unbelievably well respected in the research community for what I do in the psychology world, because I just wanted to understand, how do we know? How do we know? If you're going to change or achieve the next level, what works? Simple question. Most people don't ask it. You guys are taught to do that in marketing, right? Test, 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 figure it out, prove it, prove it, prove it, model, model, model. But how do you prove it? How do we do it in psychology? So that's what I want to talk to you about today, because there's only 6 habits that have ever been academically correlated with long-term performance. We had to figure it out, and that is how you're going to change. All you need to do is focus on these 6, because we measured 100 different performance variables, and out of 100, 6 were the only one that strongly correlated. That's the subject of my book, High Performance Habits. That's what we're going to talk about today. Who's game? If you guys get this, everything shifts. Because listen, habits starts with the oldest quote in the book. You've probably heard it before. Excellence is an art. It's a what? It's a what? An art won by training and habituation. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Aristotle taught this. This is long before I ever got here. I'm just a product and a ripple effect of all the greats. I learned a lot from him, just like Russell. I gave Russell a testimonial. I can't wait for you to see it, brother, yesterday. And I said, Russell is so well respected for being one of the greatest marketers alive. But what I respect about him and what I love about him is most people don't know he's also one of the greatest marketing students who ever lived. He's done his homework, and he works so hard to learn everything he teaches you guys. So give this guy a round of applause. He gets it. Never seen someone study harder. Not in our space. That's why ClickFunnels is so good, because he does all the work and the research, and he puts it into tools you guys can help. And he builds a team that can help with that. But he did the research. My research came into the personal development side. I said, I want to study the highest performing people in the world. Let's figure out who they are, what they do, how they make it happen. So we did the largest academic study. We partnered with the University of Pennsylvania's Positive Psychology Department, super fancy, to find out what these 6 things were. Here's a couple things you should know. Number 1, high performance means succeeding beyond standard norms consistently over the long term. Consistently. Everyone say that word with me. Yeah, that Monday motivation problem you're having, that Wednesday problem you're having, it's not an existential problem. You're having a consistently problem. You did it once, you forgot to do it Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's those little moves that catch that momentum. And the way to get long-term motivation is to get short-term momentum. The way to get long-term motivation is to get that short-term momentum. High performance feels 3 specific things. And by the way, these aren't my words. These are words from Olympians. These are words from the top 15% highest earning people in 100 different categories and industries. Here's how they say, here's how you know when you are high performing. And it is just lockdown science. Here's what you feel. That moment of flow, that moment of awesome, when you know you got it. First thing, you're fully engaged. You're right there. You're fully in the moment, like it doesn't go away. But we're terrible about that with the people we love. Some of you gentlemen are trying to convince your wife you're listening and she's 3 feet away. She can tell it's not true. I mean, look at the back of this room. Let's see. I'll go back in the light. Look at the back of this room. This is a huge room. Can you guys go closer into my face? Let's try. Watch this. There can be a moment where I'm with you, I'm talking, we're engaged, we're fully present, we're having a great time, everything's good, right? All the way in the back. Can you hear me in the back? Yes? Can you hear me in the back? Great. I can be fully engaged, we're having a great time, everything's clicking, we're zoned in, we're right here. And then there's a moment where I can still be passionate, I can keep talking, almost the same volume, pace, and tone, but raise your hand if you felt me go away. Now look around the room. If you felt me go away, raise your hand. Look around the room. And you're trying to, that's in the back of the room. Raise your hand in the back if you can sense it. Look at that. And you're trying to pull your spouse a foot away? You can't do it. Your presence, being fully engaged, is everything. The second thing they said is joy. That's why I love to teach. You have to bring the joy in life. You have to stop thinking that you're going to take joy from things or get joy from things, and you're going to bring the joy to the kids. You're going to bring the joy to the assignment. You're going to bring the joy to funnels like you have never done your entire life. Yes? Like you have never done. Turn the person to the left, right, shake them, say, bring the joy. If you can't enjoy building funnels, why the hell is Russell and Dave and the whole team so successful? Because they allow themselves to geek out. Stickers on bottles. They allow themselves to geek out and have fun and notice the funny, silly things and enjoy the process. And if you can't do that, it's not going to work. Stop waiting to be happy. Start generating happy. And the last one, confidence. High performers have full engagement, joy, and confidence. And sometimes that confidence, they have to generate it just like they have to generate the joy. You got to learn to bring the confidence. The number one issue with most of your sales videos, the number one issue can be found in those 3 words. You're not fully engaged, the audience can tell it. You're not enjoying the process, they can tell it. And you aren't confident, so you're not going to get that conversion. That's the challenge. They can tell you're not a high performer, they can tell you're a newbie. And no one really wants to buy, not spend a lot of money with just a newbie. It's okay if you're a newbie at what you do or getting the first results, but we want you to be confident in guiding people. I always tell people, you don't need to be confident in yourself like you're the perfect person, but you better be confident in your ability to guide people. Because if I can't tell in your video that you are confident that you can guide me, I don't give you the money. It's how I'm able to convert on sales videos. And we've had sales videos that did $4 million in 3 days, right? And it's just me. It's not like I don't even have graphics. God, what is wrong with me? I'm talking to Russell. I need a countdown timer and music getting louder and, dancing bears or something. But somehow it works because those 3 things are there. Also, something to know from the science. None of your excuses work anymore. The science proved this. High performance is not strongly correlated with your age. So for some of you, like, I'm too old to get on video, or I'm too old to do that marketing, that social media, you're wrong. Age is not correlated with long-term performance. Women who say, I'm disadvantaged because I'm a woman, hello, welcome to 2019. You are not. You have it. You own the world. Go get it. Gender is not correlated with long-term success performance in the world's largest study ever done. Also, nationality, intelligence, personality, strengths, creativity, empathy, or years of experience, not even your compensation level is tied to high performance. Because who's ever worked with a high-paid deadbeat? Anybody? Yeah, they're not a high performer, they're just getting paid a lot. Difference, some compensation. So, here's something else to know, another surprise. It's not about your strengths. Our culture in the 90s got caught up in just do your strengths, only your strengths, and focus on your strengths. It's like, actually, high performers don't do that. And there's no long-term correlation in any study ever that just focusing on strengths leads to greater long-term performance. There is none. So here's what we found out. I was wondering why. Is a huge controversial thing in my book, High Performance Habits. I was like, but why? And here's why. Look at that last bolded line. The question high performers ask themselves is less, who am I and what am I good at? And more often, what is required to be of service here? And how can I grow into that? That's what servant leaders do. That's what the greats did. They didn't say what my strength was, because Russell's known me for a long time, and he's known I've relatively maintained my dorky me, but I was terrified of public speaking, mortified. Even if you asked me, even if you paid me, Brennan, get up on that stage, I'll give you money to go talk, I'd be like, no. Video? No, never. My natural abilities and strengths have nothing to do with communication, but I recognize if I can't communicate, I can't make the difference. If I can't communicate, I can't make the difference. So I had to skill up, tool up, train, get better to figure out how to do that. And that's what changed everything for me. So the question comes down to, okay, Brennan, then what are the 6 habits? What matters the most? Here's what they are. Number 1, you must seek clarity more consistently than you are. I'm from Montana, so let me make this simple. Here's how we say it in Montana. The time to have the map is before you enter the woods. The time to have the map is before you enter the woods, but most people wander into the woods and they're kind of looking around. What am I supposed to do? They go down this way and that way, and they don't know what the hell's going on because they don't have the habit of seeking clarity. People who seek clarity, it's simple. They ask more questions than other people. You got 5 people standing around. The person who finally goes, hey, how does this work, guys? What are we supposed to do? That's always going to be the high performer. Everyone else is standing around waiting for instructions, hoping they get it, right? Go in a meeting, the person who asks the most questions tends to be the leader. Why? Not because of role, because of getting the clarity is what they do. Some of you guys know I've had the blessing of training Oprah Winfrey and her entire executive team. And we did 2 online courses together, epic experience of my life. But here's the thing that she doesn't get the credit for. This is my favorite little thing. When you have a meeting with Oprah Winfrey, you sit down, the first thing she says is, what's our intention for this meeting? What's our intention for this meeting? Starts every meeting with the intention. Not the task, not who's going to do what. What's the intention? It's unbelievable. That is seeking clarity. It's saying, what are we about here together? What matters here together? Let's start with that. That's seeking clarity. Underperformers don't seek clarity. That's why the average American, and I don't mean me flippant about it, but we have a problem. The average American reads less than 2 books a year. They're not seeking clarity. That's why personal development people, high performers, people who come to my audiences, they tend to out-earn the population by 10 to 1. Why? They're students, right? Why is this audience so amazing? Because you all came here to seek, and you did it. So turn to the person left, right, shake them, and thank them for being here one more time. The most important thing, though, is the challenge. Is your ability to seek clarity can only extend beyond your ability to look beyond your identity. Let me give you an example. This is the house I grew up in Butte, Montana. Any Montanans in the room? Yeah. Hi, guys. I love you. Where are you from? North Dakota? Not the same. Okay. So I'm from Butte. That's where I grew up. You can see it was a little bit of a tough house. You know, the lot next door was always empty. There were lots blighted because Butte was an economic disaster. And it, was this big city at one point and then fell apart. And the house was always falling apart. There was a winter where the heater went out. My dad and mom were living paycheck to paycheck, raising us 4 kids. They couldn't afford to fix the heater, so we had all these people coming in the house trying to fix it. We were little kids. But I was lucky because my mom would go out to the garage and she would get our camping tent and put it in that main room. And then she would fill that camping tent with our parkas and our sleeping bags. And so when it was 30 below zero with wind chill in Butte, Montana, and they didn't close schools back then, we would camp, and then I'd walk to school all bundled up, and we would go to school, and I didn't even know it was a bad thing because I'd ask the other kids, I'm like, hey, where'd you sleep last night? They're like, in my room. I'm like, we're tenting at our house. We're camping. Then the electricity would go out, so my mom would be cooking dinner on the Bunsen burners. I don't know if you guys know what that is. Like if you go camping, it's a little like butane fuel, like propane, little camp, making dinner for 4 kids. But I did luck out because mom, they'd make it fun. They would engage, they'd get resourceful. And I always say, I didn't grow up with anything, but I grew up with love, and that's growing up with everything. Isn't it true? It's everything. That's it. But if that neighborhood became my vision, I wouldn't be here. And most people's clarity, what they want for their life, what they're seeing, what they're seeking even, is usually limited to their past or what they see or experience or feel now. And so I have a message for you to write down. Never limit your vision for yourself or your family based on your current circumstances. Never. Your vision is unmoored to the past. Your vision and what is possible for you, look what's possible for the entire ClickFunnels team. Look what they've done here for you. They didn't start this way, they built this way. So don't you ever think that what you are capable of is limited by who treated you bad, who said what, where you're at now. You could be broke this year and in Comma Club up on this next year, ladies and gentlemen. If I could only see Butte, Montana, if I couldn't see beyond my circumstances, if I didn't see clarity to say, how can I get there? What could I do? I would never get to be on the stage or work with my heroes. And some of those heroes are big names. I got to work with Larry King and the Dalai Lama, some of you know. That was like a huge blessing of mine. And I don't show pictures to brag. I show pictures to go, I'm a kid from Montana. I never imagined I'd get to work with Ms. Zoe. Ever. I never imagined I get to work with these 2 gentlemen. I never thought it would happen. I never thought Branson or Clinton. And if, don't worry, if they're too liberal for you, I got those guys too. But you know what? My favorite picture is this one. That's my dad. That's my mom. I love this line, success counts the most when your clarity and beliefs allows you to give back to your family. That's it. So if you're not looking beyond your vision yet for yourself, if you're not dreaming big, asking the bold questions, doing your learning and staying on your game, always asking the questions. If you don't do it for you, do it for them. That's the main thing. That was my first seminar with mom and dad. That would be my dad's last. He would pass away from acute myeloid leukemia not too long after that. I'm so happy he got to see that. So happy. Because I was a student. Because I learned. Because I tried to figure it out. Because I wanted them to get out of that house. I wanted me and my girlfriend to have a better life. Clarity and believing in yourself and that vision is everything. Everything. Thank you. So you guys are like, I thought he's the motivational guy. When did the bears come out or some balloons? Can we put some lasers on this head? Pardon my language. Number 2, high performers generate energy. Allow me to give you the defining metaphor of my life. Literally the defining metaphor of my life. The power plant does not have energy. It generates energy. The power plant does not have energy, it generates it. For the engineer dorks in here like me, some of you guys know I'm an engineer and a dork and a data and a coder. Let me make it more accurate. The power plant doesn't have energy, it transforms energy. What does that mean? Well, a power plant takes energy from one source that's of lower utilization transmits it, upgrades it, then transmits it again. That upgrade of energy is your job if you want to be a leader and a high performer. That's your job. Yes, they're negative around you. You know what you're going to do next time they're negative around you? You're going to upgrade that energy. Next time you feel bad, you don't feel good, you're going to upgrade your energy. Next time you don't feel like it, you're going to upgrade your energy. Next time you're beat down, you're going to upgrade the energy. Next time you're not ready, you're going to upgrade the energy, because high performers generate the energy, and that's what you have to do 24/7, 365, Monday through Friday, for your family, for your kids, from the people around you. Let's go, ClickFunnels, let's go. Let's go. You don't hope to have energy. You generate energy because your family's counting on you. That's why you do it. You don't hope to have a good day. You build one because people need you. You generate energy, and you stop telling yourself, "Ooh, I'm so tired." You know what people do? "I'm tired." And you know what they do? "I'm tired." And so what do? They sit there. Is that the craziest ever? If you're tired, you don't sit there. If you're tired and you sit there, the sit there compounds the problem. That's what you have to do. You have to change it. Let me show you. Everyone stand up. Watch what we can do. Watch how fast we can give God's gifts activation in this room. Watch this. Everyone stand. Close your eyes. For those who are marketing, whiz bangers, I'm not going to hypnotize anyone. I have no idea how to do that. But watch what you can do. Close your eyes. Give yourself a score of 1 to 10 of your physical and mental presence and energy. 1 to 10. 1 would be you're wiped out, you're exhausted, 3 days of seminar. 10 is you feel just super pumped, fully enlivened, fully engaged right here. Watch what you can do. I know you think I'm going to ask you to jump around. I'm not. Instead, I'm going to ask you to turn your mind on. Watch this. What I want you to do with your eyes closed is I want you to know what your number is. If you're a 6, I'm going to challenge you right here to level up in this room and take your energy without doing anything. Don't say anything, don't jump, don't move. All I want you to do with your mind is go from a 6 to a 7 or an 8 to a 10. All I want you to do, speed up that processing in your brain. Speed up the mind. Maybe you see lightning flashes. Maybe you feel like all of a sudden all around you in your body, like you're going to bolt, you're going to speed out, you're going to take somebody down, you're going to run, you're going to jump. Maybe in your mind, you feel like there's fireworks. You just see them. Maybe from on high, you feel a lightning bolt in the back of your neck. Wham, right now saying, you are alive. You have the gift of this moment. Take that breath in. Take that breath out. Now go one level up again without moving. Take that energy one more. One more. Give yourself that challenge. Get a little higher, a little more energetic. Make it come alive. Get a little bit more. Just a little bit. You're standing there, up that level of energy. How's that feel? ClickFunnels. Yeah. So open your eyes for a second. All you have to do is use your mind. Start there. Start there. So many of us don't use it. We look for a crutch. Well, I'm tired. I'm going to watch something. No. Close your eyes. Get your mind revved up because you got money to earn. Get your mind revved up because you got people to serve. Get your mind revved up because you were put on this earth to do a mission. Tired is a choice almost all the time. Then you just have to learn how to trigger your body to do different things. I hope one day some of you guys will come to High Performance Academy. We teach all these Olympians and high achievers like how to get more energy and what to do. Watch simple things you can do, simple things. An Olympian taught me this one. This is my favorite one, okay? Where you're standing, just march in place real quick. Feel the weight of your legs as you march in place. Okay, just feel that. Okay, now watch this. Now stand up nice and tall. Put your booty back. Put all the weight on your heels, not your toes. Now, we're going to do a tiger claw. What that means is you're leaning back. I want you to, right above your knees. Now, I want you to go left, right, left, right. Push deep into the muscle. All your weight in your heels, not your toes. So your knees should not be bent. You should be leaning back. Okay, now a little bit up in the middle of the muscle. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Dig deep, dig, dig, deep, deep. Right a little above, right by your woohoo. Okay, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Now in the middle again. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, right. Stand, breathe. Now march. Who felt the difference? Raise your hand. It's totally different, right? Now try this. I want you to stand and bounce with me, just standing and bouncing. Release the weight in your shoulders. Stand, and we're gonna take 10 deep breaths. If you are feeling really tired, you can close your eyes for this. A deep breath means the person to your left and your right can hear it. We're gonna draw it in through our nose like this. And we're gonna breathe out like this. That's one. Breathe. Keep bouncing. 2. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. If your neighbor can't hear you, you're not breathing. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Keep bouncing. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Keep breathing. Now in a moment, I want you to do, I'm gonna have you bend slightly your waist, like this, and you're gonna do a cupping activity. It's called Qigong. You're gonna open up this back meridian. It's your biggest meridian, and all you're gonna do is take your hands like this, and you're gonna kind of cup, pat, strong and firm here, and take 3 more breaths. Ready? Nice and firm, breathe. 1. Breathe. 2. Breathe. 3. Stand, bounce a little bit. Funnel hackers. Who wants to do some funnels? Who wants to do some funnels? Give yourselves a round of applause. Turn to the person left, right, shake them, say let's go, and have a seat. How do you feel? So every 50 minutes, when I sit down, I learned this from a high performer, I pull out my phone. When I sit down, my timer, I set for 50 minutes. The largest productivity study done in the history of humankind, the largest productivity study done in the history of humankind, found that the most productive beings on Earth across 190 countries took a break on average every 52.4 seconds, 52.4 minutes. So every 50 minutes, I'm like, great, I'm working. Okay, I sit my butt down, 50-minute timer. I'm working. It doesn't matter if I'm in the funnel. It doesn't matter if I'm in the copy. It doesn't matter if I'm coding. It doesn't matter if I'm in chapter 4 of my 7th book. When that thing goes, I stand up. I'm like, okay, take a step back, speed up my mind, bounce in place, 10 deep breaths, ready to go. Why? Not because I need it then. I do that activity so that I have the energy later. What most people know is you're storing energy throughout the day or you're depleting it. And most of you are so fried at the end of the day because you are willing yourself through it. And that's why you won't be successful at 70 or 80 anymore. You'll be gone. You'll be a faint glimpse of what happened in the industry. Or you will last because you care for your physical body. Most people would not go to their neighbor's house, spray paint it, break the windows, and throw tons of garbage in it. But every day they violate and they abuse the temple that they were given from above. You got to take care of your health. You got to take care of your energy because your family needs you. And because if you care about your mission, your next level is your next level of energy. Can I get an amen on a Saturday, ladies and gentlemen? That's it. I learned this the hard way. Some of you guys know I had a brain injury in 2011, and I wrecked an ATV four-wheeler. I was out with friends in Mexico, and I didn't know at the time how bad it was. This is my last checkup. I actually never realized how creepy that picture is. I don't know, is that a dead body next to me? What the? I never really saw that one on a Jumbotron, Russell. I was like, who's next to me over there? Is he dead? Oh, dear. I got to get a brain scan every 90 days because of my injury. And some days I have good days and some days I have bad, like all of us. But I have a lot of dreams and mission in my heart. You know, I think if you feel like a dream or a mission has been sown in your heart, then you better take care of your heart and your health. Because maybe the creator, God, universe, luck, whatever you want to call it, is asking you to care for yourself so you can carry that dream across the finish line. I had to learn to generate energy. That's why I do it every 50 minutes. That's why I work out every 5 days, or not every 5 days a week. I like to say this to people: be responsible for the energy you are projecting into the world. Your kids see how much energy you have, positive, negative, physical. So does the community. So does everyone else. Be responsible for the energy you are projecting into this world. And I think we'd have a much better world, because most people aren't conscious of the energy they're giving other people. And if you can be more intentional and conscious about the energy you're putting out, you'll not just change your marketing, you change your world. And who's in it for that game with us here at Funnel Hacking Live, ladies and gentlemen? Let's change the world. We got to change our energy. Number 3, you got to raise necessity. And what does this mean? I'll be brief on this one because it's simple to illustrate. That's the beginning of my career. That's me. I think I was probably reading Corey Rudel there or something, you know. And I'm in my girlfriend's apartment in this picture. I had to move in with her because I went bankrupt chasing the stream to be a writer and a coach. And that's basically the whole apartment. We were in San Francisco, and San Francisco's a terrible place to be broke. I mean, it's like $9 for a, pizza pocket. I mean, it's like, oh my God. And Denise is buying my groceries, and I had that little desk. That's my mom's fold-out table she lent me. It's her old sewing room table. And so I had that little desk because that was the whole room. So the bed became, where I put my vision boards and my research and my dreams and my journals, and I'd write on that little thing. And the truth is, for months were going by, I wasn't writing much, and then we kept going more and more into debt. And I was having trouble finishing this book, and Denise came in one night, late at night, and she went to go to bed. But I had all this stuff on the bed, but she never wanted to disturb this stuff, so she crawls under the covers of the bed, trying not to disturb the bills and the things and the papers and the visions and the journals. And she crawls under bed, and I'm typing along, and I happen to look over. And I see my woman, my sunshine, sleeping under the weight of my bills. And it was just like, but I think in a good way, because I couldn't get out of my own way. I couldn't be productive. I couldn't get things done. But now it was necessary for her. We will so often do things for other people, but we have to psychologically raise the necessity. It became necessary in that moment, not to be a preferred successful author. It was necessary for me to become a successful author. It became so necessary. I wrote, and I wrote, and I wrote, and I wrote, and I wrote. And 18 days later, the book was done. 6 months later, my first bestseller. We were moving. 8 months later, my first $1.6 million online internet launch. We were on fire. Because one day, I asked a simple question: who needs me on my A game? Why is it necessary that I serve with excellence today? To this day, next to my computer, a little note card sits with that. I don't open up my laptop or even think about work until I've processed this question: who needs me on my A game? Who needs me? Why is it necessary that I serve with excellence right now? That's psychological raising of necessity. It's making your performance matter. Most people go through the motions because they didn't make their performance matter first. They're waiting for the outcome to feel fulfilled and hoping that their work feels fulfilling, and so they don't go at it. But if you make your work matter first, connect to that why, Connect to who needs you on your A game. And why do you need to deliver excellence now? You show up differently. You're a weapon. You're ready to go because it's necessary for you to be extraordinary. Everyone say it with me. It's necessary for me to be extraordinary. It's necessary. It's what? It's what? Turn to the person like, shake them and say, it's necessary. Now you got it. Habit number 4, high performers are more productive than anybody else. No duh, Brendan. They are, but they actively seek to increase their productivity by reprioritizing at the beginning of the week. They actively seek to increase their productivity by scheduling block time. During block time, you create, you work, and you never during that block time check your phone. During that block time, you never do a text. During that block time, you never do social media. You do not multitask. You do the deep work. You focus. You just get stuff done. But not all getting stuff done is important. Listen to this life truth. Not all busy work is your life's work. And until you figure out the difference, you'll never feel fulfilled. You'll never achieve fulfillment by completing a longer to-do list. Not all busy work is your life's work. So be seeking clarity, be on the hunt for what is that thing for me. Re-identify with that, reconnect with that. Identify the outputs that matter the most and do more for those things. Obsess about the outcomes that matter the most. Everything else, delegate, delete, get rid of. What matters the most? Obsess about those. I tell everybody, all my clients, I go, there's only 5 moves you need to achieve your dreams. There's 5 major moves. What are those major moves? Everything else is the detail, but there's only 5 moves to get you where you want to go. What are your 5 moves? And here's what I found from the high performance research. This one stunned me, and I was not doing a good job on this. High performers spend 60% of their week on what's called PQO. PQO, that means prolific quality output. It just means they're being prolific, doing the things that matter the most for 60% of the week. Yes, they still have administration. Yes, they have email. Yes, they have social. Yes, they have everything else we deal with, but they do that only 40% of the week. 60% of the week, high performers are doing the things that matter the most, moving their career forward. 60% of their work week. 60% of their work week. I challenge you to look at yourself. I measured mine. I was 36%. I was like, whoa, I'm only 36%, but the highest performers are 60%. I'd better start delegating and deleting immediately. You must increase productivity by focusing on PQO. Habit number 5, you got to develop influence. You have to do what? Yes. Everyone in this room is an influencer. Everyone in this room has the opportunity to influence, but so few people ever do. So let me ask you this question. Think of a person who is the most positively influential person in your life. The most positively influential person in your life. I want you to see their face for a moment. Like, who was the most positively influential person in your life? I hope it wasn't me. The most positively influential. Okay. Everyone in this room might have a different answer. But from the research, there's only 3 things that makes a high performer the most influential among their peers. And everyone should write this one down. High performers develop their influence in only 3 ways. Once you do the 3 on purpose, you change everything. The first way is high performers teach other people how to think. You gain influence with people by teaching them how to think. That's the first and foremost. You have to teach people how to think, and you have influence with them. Think about that person who influenced you. I bet they taught you how to think about yourself, other people, the world, opportunities, life, values. Second, the thing that you admire that person for, the reason they had influence, is they challenged you. They challenged you. They said, you're a better man than this. They said, you can do better. They said, be your best. They say, that wasn't true, be truthful. They raised the standard by challenging you to be better. You want to lead people? You must strategically and explicitly challenge them to be better. Not make excuses for them, not try to be, people tell me, Brendan, you could be so much further if you would just be so relatable. Be relatable, Brendan. And I would say everything would change if you're just more relatable. I'm like, I'm not interested in being relatable. I'm interested in challenging people. It's two different things. I want to be a high performer. Let a daytime talk show person be relatable. I want to move the earth. Anyone with me? Two different things. Two different things. The third thing they did is they role modeled the way. You liked this person influenced you because they were a role model for you, and that changed everything. That was the picture I showed you earlier of my dad. My dad was my role model. He taught me how to think. He challenged me. He was a good role model, even when he wasn't perfect. And it was because he was conscientious. Every stage I've gotten on, I share this unique, simple gift for you if you haven't ever done it. If you still have your parents or your grandparents or somebody you love in your life, do yourself a favor. Do an interview with them and record their voice. Do an interview them. As my dad was passing away from leukemia, when he got the final diagnosis that the third chemo didn't work, I was on the road. So I called him that night and I asked him 30 questions about life. And, what'd you learn from your parents? And what do you want each of us kids to know? And what do you want to say to mom? And all these questions. And I recorded it. And during the course of that interview, it was maybe an hour and a half, he said all these things I recognized. I was like, wow, he was telling me that the whole time I was growing up. I never knew he was conscious about that. But my dad's 7 lessons, my only brag on social media that I will ever do is never my count. It's that of all the things I do, 4 original posts a day for a decade I have done. My dad's quote to me is the most shared thing I ever did. It was simple. It's my dad's 7 lessons to me. And see how good they are and you'll know it. Dad said, be honest. Be yourself. Do your best. Take care of your family. Treat people with respect. Be a good citizen. Follow your dreams. He's always saying something like that. Now, on his anniversary, both his birth date and the day that he died, I listened to that recording, and I'm so thankful he was thoughtful about his influence. So I always tell people, remember, you're influencing people every moment of the day. This group, you have more influence because you're marketing knowledge than almost any other group in the world. So remember that you're influencing people every day, every moment. So be intentional about how you're showing up, about what you're communicating, what you're sharing. That intention can change the world. Because think about it. If you all united to do anything, could you change the world? Yes or no? Yes or no? Anything. It's the power of what you're already doing with ClickFunnels. It's how this was all built. You're using your influence intentionally to do good things. So keep doing that whatever way that you can, because there's more power in this room. That person to your left or right, maybe it looks like they began, but they could be a titan in 5 years. So give them respect. Last habit, last simple habit is this one. You got to learn to demonstrate courage. You got to make the asks. You got to say it. You got to stand behind it. I know you guys heard from my main man, Dean Graziosi. Was Dean awesome? Oh my gosh. And he was teaching you, you have to believe in what you're selling. You have to go for it. And so many of you, that's a courageous action. We found out in the research, people who are more courageous than others, all they simply do is stand up for themselves and speak their real thoughts, their real feelings, their real dreams more often than other people. And they tend to stand up for people who also are going after their dreams and being judged for it. Meaning, courage isn't jumping in the river to save somebody, though that is courageous. Courage, measured academically, means you speak for what you really think and feel and need and desire to more people, more often than the other guy. When someone is getting trounced or made fun of, you speak up for them and you say, hey, it's not okay to make fun of them. Let them do their thing. Let them achieve their dream. Come on. That's the courage of high performance. And demonstrating courage is learning to notice when you have the fear and still moving through it and processing it through it anyway. I got a great lesson from an expected mentor in this category. I'd love to tell you a story and I'll complete. I had this experience in my life. We have some pictures, I think. I went out with my friends. These are the same friends who caused my brain injury, so no judgment yet. But I went out with my friends. It was one of their bachelor parties, and we went out to go skydiving. And you can already tell from the picture how I feel about this thing. Like, my friends are laughing and they're excited, and I'm looking at them like, what are we about to go do? And I remember we pull up, okay, we do this in Arizona. We pull up in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere, Arizona, and there's literally, I remember there was a barn, okay, a barn, the plane, and then a bar. Like, a bar. And I was like, I'm not getting out of this SUV until I see which building the pilot comes out of. And then thank God, he comes out of the barn. We go in the barn, we sit down, and the instructor starts teaching us everything we have to do, And I am so fearful. If you don't know, I'm terrified of heights at that time. I was so scared of them. And I'm like shaking, I can't hear what he's saying. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm trying to think of excuses to talk myself out of it. I'm sick, I don't want to go, whatever, guys, bad shrimp. I don't know, I'm trying to tell a story. And I'm like freaked out. And then we get on the plane. And I remember this plane starts taking off, and it's one of those planes, it doesn't even have a back. Like, you go into the plane, but there's no door, okay? So we're in like a skydiving built plane. We go in this twin prop, we go up in the air, and this picture is about 5,000 feet in the air. We're gonna go to 15,000. If you actually know me, that's the fakest smile I could ever have. The guy on my right in the picture, that's my guide. He's just cool hand Luke. He's Buddha. He's calm. No problem. The guy on my left, I don't remember who I think. And I remember all of a sudden we get up to about 10, 11,000 feet. We're about to go, and I start having a panic. I forget. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? And the guy's like, what? I said, I forgot. What do I got to do again? Just tell me one more time. What am I supposed to do? And he's like, yeah, you'll be okay. And I'm like, oh my God, my instructor. And I'm like, no, I don't know. And he said, hey, man, calm down. You're freaking me out, man. Calm down. And he goes, listen, it's easy. 5,000, pull. 5,000, pull. And what he's motioning towards is a big wristwatch, like I'll call it an altimeter. And what it means is when this hits 5,000 feet in the air, I'm supposed to reach back, grab this little orange ball, pull it. It will deploy the chute and hopefully save my life, right? So I'm like, oh, I can do that. Okay, it calms me down, because with competency sometimes comes confidence. You know what to do, you know how to feel. I'm like, okay, I can do this. So all of a sudden the plane goes. And my friends, my best friends of my life, are sitting on a bench across from me, and they go. And all of a sudden that bench, the guys start going back to the door. Just watching your friends fall to their death. The plane goes, and my guy goes, we're next. And I'm like, oh, no. He goes, 5,000 pull, you can do this. I'm like, okay, well, we're next. I've been in motivation. I know what to do. The plane goes like this. We start sliding down the bench. And I'm like, yes, 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 yes. We get to the door, and he goes, 1. I go, oh. And he goes, 1. I go, no. He goes, 2. I go, no. He goes, 3. Ah! And he throws me out of this thing. And I'm screaming out the, ah! And look at Buddha behind me. He's like, he's good. I love this next picture. Screaming through my legs. Looks like I pooped my pants. None of your business. And then you are falling 150 to 200 miles an hour. You are falling, and it's just ferocious. And you're screaming, ah! I remember screaming so loud, I was thinking there were dogs on the ground bleeding out their ears. I'm just screaming, ah! And then something goes wrong. Do you see it? Something goes wrong above the cloud line. Let me zoom in. Look at this. Do you see it? Yeah, well, yes. The hair is being ripped from my body, which is wrong, people. But no, the little goggles snap. The strap around my goggles snaps. Something I was supposed to check in the barn, but I was too scared. I didn't hear it. And so I'm falling like, ah! And all of a sudden, my guide starts pointing towards the ground. Like, hey, you're supposed to do something now, or we're going to hit that earth. Do something. But I'm like, I'm gummy. I'm like, ah! So as a good coach would do, he goes to gently remind me of what I'm supposed to do, pull that altimeter, look at the altimeter, but I'm screaming, I'm Gumby in the wind, so he grabs it and goes to show me, not a big deal unless you're falling 200 miles an hour, because he goes to show me and I'm loose, and all of a sudden, I get punched in the face by my own hand. By my own hand, people. So hard. I'm like, oh my God, why did you hit me in the face? He's like, go, go. I'm like, he goes, go. So he goes to show me again. Hits me a second time. I'm like, oh God. So I reach back and I go to grab that thing, and they don't tell you what's going to happen. You go to grab that thing. I remember I go to grab that thing. They're always motivating you to get in, to jump, to do the thing. They don't tell you how hard it's going to be. I go to grab that thing, and it's like, and I don't know if that picture shows the surprise on my face. But I remember when I pulled that, my leg went above my head. And it came back down again. And I remember like slow-mo, watching my leg go above my head and come back down. And I remember going, I didn't know I could do that. And you think, could you imagine doing a ClickFunnels ad for this experience? Could you imagine a 10-second ad trying to get people to go through the same experience of skydiving? Here's what it would look like. Okay, he'd be like, okay, so man, yeah, just got 5,000 pull. That would be fine. Okay, get in the plane. Watch your friends. Watch your friends. You can do this 5,000 pull. Yeah, I can do this. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Here we go. Okay, here we go. I can. 1, no. 2, no. 3, no. Oh, the snap broke. Oh, it sure is beautiful up here, man. It's beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And then we start going down to the ground. And I remember we just moved out to the ground in this picture. And he goes, hey, Brenton, last one. He goes, lift your legs. I go, what? He goes, lift your legs. I go, why? He goes, otherwise you'll break them. Good tip. Good tip. Solid tip. Lift my legs, we land, and then we get my friend's call, the hero shot. Yes, I did. Let's go. But here's why I tell you this story, and I'll close with this. We get there, we're all talking with our buddies. The guy comes running up to me, my guide, and he comes running up and he has a CD. Here you go, man. I go, what's this? He goes, it's your pictures. I go, we took pictures? Oh, okay. He says, hey, you got a second? I go, yeah. He said, come over here. Oh, all right. So he pulls me away from my friends. And he says, hey, you got a second? I go, yeah. He goes, hey, man, what do you do? I'm like a, like a motivational speaker. And then it was like on my dates in high school when I opened the door, he goes, "Oh." And he goes, I said, "Why do you ask?" He says, "Well," and he pointed towards the plane that was over there. And he goes, "You see the plane over there?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Brandon, I jumped out of that plane 1,142 times." I go, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "But I tell you that because you're one of those guys, Brendan." I'm what? He goes, "You're one of those guys." I was, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, you see, we brought you in the barn over there, and we explained how to jump out of that plane, and I've jumped out there 1,142 times, but when in the barn, I was watching everybody. I knew you'd be that guy because you were sitting there and you were so terrified of what was about to happen. As we were explaining it, you weren't listening and taking it in." He says, "You're one of those guys who has not yet learned to listen through the fear." Whoa. He says, "Brendan, everything in life, you've got to learn to jump in and listen through the fear." Russell, Dave, the entire crew, everybody who stood up on the stage, they just spent a couple of hours and days with you telling you, "Hey, this is what to do." And some of you sat there so paralyzed in your past, so paralyzed about the money you have now, so worried about what you'll look like, so worried it won't work, that you didn't hear what these humans who have done it have already told you to go and do. You do not let your fear win. You open your ear and you go. These people have given you the plan. You took time from your families and your businesses to be here in this room together on purpose. You chose to be here. So you must listen through the fears you have, and you must walk out these doors, and you must get it done. Can I get an amen on a Saturday? That's it. You got to get it done. You got to wield your influence. You got to use your skills. You got to activate ClickFunnels. You got to put it into play because these people stood here. They jumped out of the plane well before you ever did, and they're telling you what to pull, what to push, what to do, when to do it, and how to enjoy the experience. So you honor this time you took to be here. You honor the family time that you took away. You honor your business, which you dream of. You honor these beautiful people and souls who put this event on for you. And when you walk out these doors and the doors of your homes and organizations for the rest of your lives, realize you have this opportunity. See through the past. Feel through the fear. Keep going because you got it in you. Everybody has it in you in this room. I respect you for that. And now we expect you for that. So when you walk out this door and the doors of your homes and organizations for the rest of your lives, my friends, go out there and earn this. I'm Brendan Burchard. I appreciate you. I love you, Russell. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Oh, welcome back. How'd you just feel about Brendan? Yeah. All right. He is so good, huh? Before he went on stage that day, he's like, "Hey, Russell, I think I'm gonna tell a parachute story." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "No, you don't understand." He's like, "I don't normally tell the parachute story." He's like, "It takes so much energy." He's like, "If I come off stage after the parachute story, I will be soaking wet from how much energy goes in that story." He's like, "But I'm gonna do it for the funnel hackers." I was like, "Oh man, I'm excited for the parachute story now." I had no idea what it was, and it was amazing. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Really quick, we're towards the end. If everyone can turn their cameras on, I want to see one last time as we kind of wrap this up. I want to see all your beautiful faces. Because we've been hanging out now for 3 days. And if you guys enjoy this experience, please wave your hands like this. I want to see how excited you were, how much fun you had during the process. So cool. My team and I have had so much fun putting this on together. There's been so much work and energy and effort behind the scenes, but it's been such a blessing to have you guys here. Over 5,000 people registered to be here, which is insane. People in almost every country around the world. It's been so much fun hanging out with all of you guys and participating and serving. Somebody asked me at the very beginning, how do you know if this thing is a success? Right? I get that before Funnel Hacking Live too. How do you know if this is a success if it wasn't? And for me, success is 100% driven by the results, right? And it's funny because people talk about ClickFunnels sometimes "Oh, you guys have 100,000 active members." And every time I hear that number, it's "Oh, that's cool." And I step back and I start thinking about individuals. I start thinking about Brandon and Kaylin Poland, right? I look at Kaylin out there with her Lady Boss movement, and she has now helped, I think 1.3 million women are on their email list. They've helped over 100,000 people into their programs. And look at that was like one of the 100,000 people. Look at the ripple effect that one person was able to cause. And look at Caleb Maddox, a young kid coming through struggling, also he figures these tools out, these things, and I watch him now as he is literally changing the lives of hundreds of thousands of kids around the world. And he's number 2. And then we've got, I can name person after person, Chris beat cancer, helping people with that journey. We've got all the speakers you guys saw today, Stacey and Paul Martino's relationship development, help saving over 10,000 marriages. And there's person after person after person. I look at the 10,000 people, the 100,000 people in ClickFunnels, the 5,000 people here. The impact for me, for our team, for our company isn't just like the event, making the money. It's watching each of you take these skills, taking these tools, taking these you learn, and then applying them to the customers that you've been called to serve. Right? That's the powerful thing about entrepreneurship is everything we're doing here doesn't just stop at you. It's a ripple effect, right? I always tell people our mission, our goal, the thing that we're here in the market to do is to help empower entrepreneurs so they can get their message out to the world. Because if I can get the handcuffs off of you, right? And handcuffs could be technical. So we're making ClickFunnels and software to make it easy as possible. The handcuffs could be knowledge. If we can take that barrier away, the handcuffs could be fear. The handcuffs, whatever those handcuffs are, we can take off of you so you can be free, so you can go out there and you can serve the audiences that you've been called to serve. That's our mission. And that's what we care about. And so for me to spend 3 days here and have the chance to be in front of 5,000 people from around the world, can you imagine what's going to happen to this world because of the last 3 days? If each of you go and you take this and you serve just 10 people, right? If you're able to get your message out to 10 more people, that went from 5,000 people to 50,000 people, right? And if each you go over instead of getting 10 people, you get 100 people, goes from 5,000 to 50,000 to 500,000. And then it goes to 5 million and then 50 million, then 100 million and more. Okay. And that's why I'm so passionate about this, why I'm so passionate about entrepreneurs. I've dedicated my life to helping serve entrepreneurs. And the last 3 days has been a huge honor for me to be able to have a chance to serve you guys. I've done my best to serve at the highest level I can. And I hope that you guys got the nuggets that you came for. Okay. I know we covered so much stuff in a short, compressed period of time. There's a million different things. I hope you got the nuggets, the ideas, the hints, the secrets, the tips, the tools, the next step, all the things you needed to be able to keep moving on your journey. Okay. The last couple of housekeeping things before we kind of wrap. I know we, again, for the last 2 or 3 hours, we have so many questions coming in. If you guys have questions about anything, if you're like, I tried to sign up for the 2cclive Club, my credit card failed, a lot of credit card fails, things like that. There's a link down below me probably right now. It's 2cclive.com/questions. If you submit the form there, someone from my team will call you back and help make sure you get set up, make sure things are happening. If you have any problems, any questions, do that. That's number one. Number two, how many of you guys after experiencing this, I need to be at Funnel Hacking Live? I want to be at Funnel Hacking Live, number one, because I need to get my award on stage. Number two is because I want this energy, I want this feeling to last forever. I want to be with funnel hackers in a room, right? You guys have seen a glimpse of what Funnel Hacking Live looks like. Okay. I'd highly recommend you guys, if you I want to make this commitment right now, go get a ticket to Funnel Hacking Live. The page, you go to funnelhackinglive.com. It's there. You can get signed up and come as well. And then number three, as you guys know, we were playing this game a little different than most people play an event game, right? You guys had a chance when you signed up for this event to attend for free if you wanted to. Okay. And we have the 5,000 people that signed up. 60% of you actually prepaid, which means you're going to get the replays for a week or 2 weeks. Can't remember exactly what it is. The replays should start being in the members area by Monday. For the other 40% who didn't, you had the chance to come and experience this whole thing as a test. And then you decide if this was worth it or not. And so hopefully me and my team up here killing ourselves for 3 days, we made it worth the ticket price. If so, you don't have to do anything. And then I think on Tuesday, I think they'll bill your credit card. But if for some reason you're like, Russell, that wasn't as cool as I thought. Russell, you didn't give me anything of value or whatever. If you get, for whatever reason, it wasn't worth it for you, if you just email support@clickfunnels.com and tell them the email address you signed up with, let them know before Monday, and that way they can go in there and they'll cancel your account. And that way you won't get rebilled. You won't get billed on Tuesday. So that's kind of how that works. Just email support@clickfunnels.com. And I think that's all the housekeeping stuff. To end, I think I want to end just first off, just telling you guys how grateful I am. I think a lot of people, me specifically, when you get into your life, when you start your life, you have no idea what you're supposed to do. You have no idea what your mission is. Like for me, I was a kid eating Cheerios, watching TV before I got my very first call to adventure, which was wrestling for me. And I started that journey. I spent that journey for about 15 years of my life. And then towards the end of it, when that journey was ending, then I got this next calling. And it didn't make any sense to me at the time. Like, why in the world? I struggled in school. I struggled reading. Nothing was fun. I didn't enjoy any of this stuff, right? And for some reason, I started learning about direct response marketing. And for some reason, there was this spark. It was just like this spark that lit on me. I was like, why is this the thing I'm excited about? It doesn't make any logical sense to me. Why does this even matter? But for some reason, I was interested in it. And I became more interested. I started going more, started learning more, started doing more. Like, it was crazy because as I started figuring this stuff out, I wanted to share it with people. I started trying to share it with everybody. I started talking to my friends, my family members, everybody. And I tell them, like, you guys understand what's possible? And they're like, oh, that's nice. That sounds good. I'm like, that's nice. Are you kidding me? Like, we can change the world with these things. And like, nobody would listen to me. And eventually a couple of people started listening. A couple of people started listening. I kept talking. But it was not a profitable business by any stretch. But I was so passionate, I didn't care. It was the spark, and I wanted to catch it on fire. And I kept talking about it. Okay. 1 year turned to two turned into five turned into 10. Now I've been doing this for 18 years. And for me to look back now, 18 years later, I remember when the spark hit for me. And for some of you guys, I hope that I took your spark this weekend and we turned it into a fire. I hope that you guys are feeling that energy and excitement about what you learn, what's possible now. Okay. But I remember I spent the first decade trying to tell people about this. Nobody cared. Nobody listened. And so for me to have 5,000 people to spend a weekend here talking about funnels and value ladders and all this stuff in these books, I cannot tell you how much of an honor that is to me. It's something that I know is so important. And the fact that you guys are excited by it, the fact that you guys have sparks and these things are catching on fire for you, it means the world to me. And people always ask me, Russell, how can I pay you back? And the only way you can pay me back, honestly, is to use this stuff. Don't just waste it. Okay. Every single one of you guys, if you're here today, if you have that pull, you felt that call to contribution that Alex Sharfin talked about, and you're here today, right? It's because there's a calling. There's something outside of yourself pulling you towards something, the call to contribution. Okay. I tell people it's a calling from God, and each of you guys have it. Okay. You've been placed here on this earth with talents and hobbies and things that you can use to change the lives of other people. Okay. And everything we've been talking about for the last 3 years, everything in these books, everything inside this community is all about making this job simpler for you. So you can get out there and you can share your message, because every single one of you has something deep inside of you can change somebody's life. And I can't do it. I can't help the lady bosses lose weight. I have no idea how to help women lose weight. I don't know how to beat cancer. Chris can do it though. I don't know how to do help kids like Caleb does. I don't know how to do what you do. Like, I can't do the thing, but if I can give you the tool that helps you get your message out to more people, then my mission's been fulfilled. And so the way you can repay me is just do it. Just do it. I promise you this stuff works. Okay. Trust me. This is not my first rodeo. We've seen it over and over and over again in so many industries, so many different ways. It works. It just comes up to you taking it and doing it. And that requires you, like a lot of the stuff we talked about the last 2 days, right? Some of the stuff that's scary, like I've got to forgive myself. I've got to forgive other people, right? I've got to move forward. Like there's so many things that hold us back, and you've got to be willing to get rid of those things so you can become who you need to be, so you can serve the people you've been called to serve. That's what this game's about. And it is the most amazing personal development experience you will ever have. You'll learn so much about yourself. There's going to be hard times, easy times, fun times, bad times. But at the end of it, who you become will be someone you'll be proud of. So I want to thank you guys so much again for spending the last 3 days with me. It's been an honor. I hopefully you guys have a chance in 6 months from now to come to Funnel Hacking Live, that we can hang out in person as a community, as funnel hackers. I think you guys would enjoy that experience as much, if not more than this as well. And hopefully we'll be able to do that in March is when next Funnel Hacking Live is planned for. Hopefully we'll be able to meet together as a community, because I really want to hang out with you guys and serve you at that level as well. So that said, you guys, thank you again so much. If you can do me one last favor, it'd be huge, is when you guys are done tonight, if you can go back to the Facebook group, I cannot tell you each night. I spend probably an hour in there scrolling through the comments of what the biggest takeaways, what the ahas were, what you liked, all those kind of things. If you guys can go in the Facebook group and just drop the biggest ideas, the biggest ahas, your takeaways, like whatever you want in there, I will literally be reading them. I'll be reading every single one of them tonight. I'll probably spend an hour to do that. So if you guys can do that sometime, that would mean the world to me and my team. And last, I want to thank my team. There's amazing teams. There's 3 or 4 teams here from Valiant Productions, from ClickFunnels team, a whole bunch of people who are here who have been serving behind the scenes. You guys don't even see them, but they've been killing themselves over the last 3 days. I'm grateful for all of them as well. With that said, thank you guys so much. And I'll see you all at Funnel Hacking Live. Bye, everybody.
Hey, Russell.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much. Thank you, Russell. Thank you, Russell. You're amazing.
Absolutely. Thank you, Russell. Russell.
Again.
Russell for president.
Thank you, Russell.
Thank you.
Again.
Guys.
Thank you.
All right, Russell, buddy.
Russell, go. Okay.
And Jeffrey, I see you.
Hey, I see you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lasso. Different. We love you, Lasso. We will next Monday, Lasso. We love you.
Awesome.
We shout this every time you know the voices. It's great.
Awesome.
Bye, guys. See you soon. Bye.